Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, back doing another Swiss Oath of the Gatewatch Battle for Zendikar draft. Goblin Dark Dwellers, the rare. It's going to be our first pick. It's a good card. What else we got in here? Lagak, Baloth Pup, Stalking Drone, Weapons Trainer. Pretty weak pack outside of the Goblin Dark Dwellers, so kind of a no-brainer. Follow-up pick. Well, Oblivion Strike, certainly the strongest card in this pack, so we're going to nab that. Does not work with the old Goblin Dark Dweller, but that's okay. There's also a Wall of Resurgence, which I like. We have Aggressor, which I don't really like. Reinforcements, which is probably close second after Oblivion Strike. Maybe not that close, but definitely second. I like Wall of Resurgence and Allied Reinforcements, though. I think Wall of Resurgence is good. Regardless, taking that Oblivion Strike. All right, third pick. We've got Vampire Envoy, Aquim Flameseeker, Press into Service. Cards I'm looking at. There's also a Path Warden in here, but probably just taking the Envoy. It's been a great card. I like it more than Flameseeker. Seems right to me. Alright, so now we have Allied Reinforcements, Core Sky Climber, Shoulder to Shoulder, Kozilek Shrieker. I think the best card is probably Reinforcements. Not by a ton, though. There's also Free Runner. Shoulder to Shoulder is pretty good with the Dark Dweller. I mean, we're still trying to figure out colors. I like Shrieker. I like Shrieker a lot. Never had an issue with this card. Envoy a little bit more conducive to a ally plan, but it doesn't have cohort for allied reinforcement synergy. I'm going to take the Shrieker. I'm just going to stay in black, and I like Shrieker well enough anyway. All right, well, now we see a fifth pick onto Work Lyric, which is certainly better than anything else in here. It's also a Hedron Crawler, which is good. Flaying Tendrils, also good. Yeah, we'll take the War Cleric and get behind that. So we've got Tar Snare, which does turn on the Dark Dweller. Hedron Crawler, which is fine. Cinder Barons for some mana fixing, but you can't really splash Dark Dweller. You can splash Oblivion Strike if you end up white-red, but haven't seen a ton of reason to be in red. Could just take the Hedron Crawler. It's good. It works well with Shrieker, as well as other colorless. Ramp is usually good. Probably better than Tar Snare. Probably. All right, we'll take the Crawler. Okay. Now I probably just want Slaughter Drone. It's a good card. Basically, it seems like I'm in black at this point, and then I can still go red or white. Or maybe something else. It's also a late Stalking Drone. I mean, I won't keep anything off the table, but I'd like to stay in black. Free Runner's good too. I think I actually like Slaughter Drone a little bit more. Believe it or not. Okay, as a Scythe Master, Seer's Lantern, and a Wace. So Wace is going to be good for Slaughter Drone and Shrieker. Scythe Master is a card I've just never been super happy with. It's okay. I'm never really happy if I'm running a deck that has Scythe Master. It's something that I'm always like willing to play but never enthusiastic about. All right, let's take the Waste. Let's just get that out of the way. Well, there's a Weapons Trainer, Chitinous Cloak, Alpha Protector, Corpse Churn. Weapons Trainer would mean I'd have to splash it or disregard black. Neither of those seem all that likely. Corpse Churn is technically usable with Goblin Dark Dweller, though, which is kind of cool. Let's do that. Spawnbinder Mage, alright. It's a late white card, that is certainly playable. Witness the End. Actually, I'm going to take the Flame Seeker. Still kind of finding our second color here, aren't we? I mean, black-red Devoid is a thing. Playing black Devoid spells in a black-white deck, I've done it before. I'm for the most part okay with it because Shrieker and Slaughter Drone are fine on their own anyway. Mauve Kozilek, well, there is a shoulder-to-shoulder too, though. I actually like Mauve Kozilek. I think this card kind of gets a crazy rep. I'd prefer to play the Goblin Dark Dweller, to be perfectly honest, rather than a Work Lyric and a Spawnbinder. They're both good. Pulse is more playable. I think Black-White is a better archetype, but I think Goblin Dark Dweller is better than a Work Lyric and a Spawnbinder. Like, the 3 red cards I have are comparable, if not better, than a Work Lyric and a Spawnbinder Mage. Plus, like I said, Black-Red Devoid is much more of a thing. Ooh, Inbringer is really good, so happy to pick that up. Passing an Oblivion Strike for it, but Inbringer is very bomb. It's a very strong card. It's probably one of the few cards I would pass an Oblivion Strike for. Especially since we're, guaranteed playing black or whatever. But, yeah, Inbringer's just a really amazing card. Okay. Could take another Crawler, which I'm kind of okay with. Another Work Lyric in here. Zada's Commando. All these are good. May want the Commando, maybe. Or it's also Crumbling Vestige, but I don't think I'm going to take that. I like Flaying Tendrils, but it kills enough of our things where I don't think I want that. There's also a Translator, which is good. I think I like Crawler more because it's cheaper. Zada's Commando is pretty good. It's just, I'm not 100% sure I'm staying in red or if I'm going white. Like, I could take another Work Lyric here, too. Which is fine. See, the thing is I don't have any ammo for Goblin Dark Dweller at the moment, which is a problem. I have a Corpse Churn, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, it certainly seems like Work Lyric is the best if I end up in white. I guess. If I had ammo for Dark Dweller, I'd be so much more on board with staying that route. Well, now we're getting a reality hemorrhage, but... Could take the second Waste, and then I'm a little bit better on colorless mana, I guess, for Slaughter Drone, Shrieker, and Inbringer, and Maw. Yeah, we actually have enough colorless mana things where I may want a second Waste. Or I can just take the Hemorrhage, continue to wax and wane between red and white as I figure out what I want to play. I do sort of need to lock it down. I'm going to take the Hemorrhage. All right, Boulder Salvo. Now I'm getting a little more incentive to go back to red. I don't know why this is so hard. I kind of just need to pull the trigger on one. Aeronaut's also good. I'm going to take the Salvo, though. And then we get a Cliffhaven Vamp. Why is this so hard? Cliffhaven Vamp is like one of the best cards you can have. With double Ondu Work Lyric, are you kidding me? All right, I'm going to take the Vamp, and I'm just going to assume that Black-White's what's happening here. Cliffhaven Vamp, too good. Cost me a lot of picks, by the way. I'm not thrilled about that, but it just feels correct. All right, shoulder to shoulder versus second Shrieker. Probably want the shoulder to shoulder. Probably. It's pretty good. Could take holdout settlement for a boulder salvo. Reality hemorrhage splash, I guess. Boulder salvo splash is not the worst. Maybe I want the holdout settlement. Problem is now I feel like we might actually need some playables in here, but we need to be able to cast Inbringer and stuff too. I'm going to take the holdout settlement and presume that it'll pay off. Guess I can take the Unknown Shores now. All right, Oath of Gideon. I think Aeronaut's better. Well, I mean, at this point with our mana base, I feel like we can pretty reliably splash Boulder Salvo. Probably. Reality Hemorrhage not worth splashing. Chain Mage is a nice pickup for us, though. I like it more than the second Spawn Binder. Chain Mage is a pretty important card for this deck. All right. You know, Translator is actually a nice card for us now, too, so I'm happy to take that. It's a late Zadis Commando. All right, I can take the Dazzling Reflection. I mean, technically it synergizes with Cliffhaven Vamp, but maybe if we're still pretty removal light at the moment, so it might be something we want. All right, I'm going to take the second Chain Mage for sure. Good chance I don't end up playing it, but you know, Maw number 2. I mean, the funny thing is, Red still managed to like come together, but with Cliffhaven Vamp, double Work Lyric, that and Envoy, I mean, synergy runs deep here. Sanctum of Ugin, don't care about that. Nirkana Assassin's pretty good in this deck. We can give a Death Touch fairly reliably. There's also Vampiric Rites, which has good synergy with Cliffhaven Vamp. And there's a Rampart, and probably want the Stonehaven Medic, though. It's cheap with Cliffhaven Vamp synergy. It's not an ally, though. There's a good chance we wheel it, but I feel like the Assassin probably wheels, too. What's our ally count at the moment? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, we're doing pretty good on allies at the moment. Could hope to wheel the Assassin. What 2 cards in here are the most important for me? Probably Stonehaven Medic and Assassin more so than Vampiric Rites, I assume. Medic feels a little bit better than Assassin, just a little bit though. I think we're going to hope to wheel the Assassin, take the Medic. Not the most exciting first pick. Bloodbond Vamp is just a beast. It's also a healer in here, which is really good, but Bloodbond Vamp is just one of those crazy cards. In this deck especially. With Medic, double Work Lyric, Envoy. It's just pretty bonkers. Hope to wheel the healer or the Medic. It's possible. Envoy's not bad. McKindy Patrol is pretty awesome, though. I like Patrol a little bit better. There's also Shadow Glider, but I like Vigilance with Cohort. Vigilance tends to work really well with Cohort. Lets you attack and still use Chain Mage, which is pretty sweet. Shadow Glider evades, which is good too. But I'm going to go for the ally. Drana's Emissary is so good. This card is so good. It's probably one of the best cards in Black-White in the entire format. Look how good that is with Emissary and Cliffhaven Vamp together. Are you kidding me? Blighted Fen seems like a nice pickup for us, actually. And I'm taking it over nothing I care about. Serpentine Spike's a good card, but we're going to take the Fen because pretty almost positive we're playing it. We're not super color intensive either, so seems fine. And now Angel Renewal. The good cards just keep on flowing, huh? Well, yes. Yes, they do. What else we got? Brood Butcher. Pretty tough to use that. I mean, technically we have Holdout Settlement and Unknown Shores, which can not only splash to play it, but splash to use its ability, but... Well, what am I passing? I guess it doesn't matter. I'm not going to play Inspired Charge. I'm not going to play Druid. I guess Druid's... Nah, not the worst splash. Is it? Because it's an ally. We have other allies. Spitting out plants, not exactly what I want, but we'll take the Butcher because it's the strongest card, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely convinced we're going to splash for it. Might be a better splash than Boulder Salvo. But the nice thing is you can splash for Brood Butcher and Boulder Salvo without really changing the mana base at all. But ideally, I don't have to play either, I guess. But we're a really removal light deck, which could be a problem. Well, Titan's Presence with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards does not seem like it's going to work, but I think I'd take it anyway because I'm not going to play any of these other cards, Swarm Surge included. Well, we got that Assassin back. I think we are going to play that. We're also looking like a 17 land deck. Let's just ditch the Butcher and Salvo. I just really don't feel like splashing in this deck is going to be necessary, probably. I actually don't mind playing Corpse Churn in here. We've actually got some pretty good guys to bring back, like Emissary, Cliffhaven Vamp, Endbringer, Angel Renewal. All of those guys seem pretty good. I'm going to take the Assassin over the Rampart or the Rites. Hopefully get that second Medic, and we did. Could take a Shadow Glider instead. So Medic is going to have synergy with Bloodbond Vamp, Cliffhaven Vamp, and Assassin. Oh, wait, there's Colostria Healer in here? Changed my mind. Taking that instead. Alright, I'm going to hate the Anticipate because I'm not going to play Greathorn, and Anticipate's a good card. None of these cards matter. So, what's my mana base going to look like? We're not going to play the Wastes. I guess I can play Unknown Shores and Holdout Settlement. They're fine. And definitely the Blighted Fen. And our mana base is really not that... Our color-intensive spells are not that bad. So I guess I do need to play at least a couple more spells, don't I? I think it's going to end up okay. I'll figure out what I'm splashing in a sec here. I think we are going to play the Corpse Churn. I don't play it very often. This isn't the ideal deck for it, but like I said, we have creatures I really want to bring back, so I'm okay with it. I think our final ally count is actually pretty high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 allies. Jeez, I didn't even have to work that hard, and we ended up with just a boatload of allies. So we're going to bring in the Corpse Churn. I could splash Brood Butcher, or I could splash Boulder Salvo. Like I said, Brood Butcher is a little bit weird of a splash, but this Boulder Salvo is kind of a weird splash too. Brood Butcher seems like it's got more potential upside. You can't kill, you have to... I'm basically only ever going to be able to use it once per turn, for the most part. Very unlikely, because I'm not going to run a forest. So pretty unlikely to be able to use it twice a turn. But it doesn't affect my mana base, right? It's practically free. It's a weird splash, but I'm definitely in need of a 23rd card. I could just do Dazzling Reflection and just completely disregard the splash. I mean, it's a playable combat trick, and I'm low on stuff to do. 2 ways to cast a Brood Butcher. It just feels like an awkward splash. A 5-mana splash 3/3 that gives you a 1/1 that lets you sack your creatures, in my case, at a kind of weird cost. I guess with Holdout Settlement, I could just tap whatever creature I'm going to sack to add the green. It's not bad. It's not great. We have no removal in here, though, so it's like something to consider. But Dazzling Reflection is probably fine. This deck is surprisingly not as good as you'd expect, considering how many good creatures it has. But the removal is just so bad. Guess we have Blighted Fen. But we're going to have a hard time dealing with fatties. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. We can grind pretty effectively in here, but usually grinding at least wants some... Grinding typically at least wants some removal, you know? I'm feeling the Dazzling Reflection. I just feel like Brood Butcher, though good, just too awkward of a splash. So let's do it like this. I'm pretty happy with the deck, beside the fact that we have no removal, or practically no removal. I'm still pretty satisfied with this deck. I think we're gonna do pretty much an even split on lands, probably 7 and 7. They want to do 6 and 8. I don't think so. I want to do 7-7. I think. I went both early. And this is like 8 and 8 with the Unknown Shores and Holdout Settlement, I think. Okay. So I can't rate this. This deck oddly is in C territory, even with the bad removal. But I can't give it much higher than like a low C. I'll probably give it like a 70. I think I'd give it a 72%. This deck would easily be a B- if it had like 2 more actual removal spells, but it is just so removal light that I can't in good conscience give it higher than like a 72%. I mean, Slaughter Drone I think is going to be important for us because of the Death Touch. I think Spawnbinder Mage is a lot more important since it lets us at least lock something down. Assassin is actually kind of important in this deck for the Death Touch too. Actually has good synergy with Envoy as well. You get to attack with both. Attack with Death Touch, which isn't bad. But yeah, I'll give it a 72, maybe 73%. And all right. Dazzling Reflection and Corpse Churn are not doing this deck any favors. But I think they're a necessary evil. So let's run them, and we'll see you round 1.